The history of the Terracotta warriors. Immerse yourself in the mystery of China's first emperor and his terracotta army. In this video, we reveal astonishing facts about his reign and the discovery that amazed the world. A historical journey you won't want to miss. Chapter 1. The First Emperor of China and His Rise to Power. In the crucible of Chinese history, one figure shines with unmatched brilliance: Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. His rise to power was nothing less than an epic drama, woven with political cunning, relentless ambition, and a revolutionary vision. Born as Ying Zheng in 259 BC in the state of Qin, one of the 7 warring states of ancient China, his destiny seemed predestined for greatness. The young Zheng ascended to the throne of Qin at the early age of 13, in a period marked by turmoil and the struggle for supremacy among the warring states. Under the tutelage of his cunning and ruthless prime minister, Liu Buwei, and later, under the influence of Li Si, Zheng began to forge his legacy. With a vision to unify China, he deployed a series of military campaigns with unprecedented ferocity and efficiency. His strategy combined innovations in military tactics, weaponry, and logistics with cunning diplomacy and alliance politics. Qin Shi Huang's military dominance was characterized by his relentlessness and strategic ingenuity. In 221 BC, after years of conquests and political maneuvering, he achieved the unimaginable: the unification of the various warring states under a single empire. This monumental act changed the political map of China and marked the beginning of a new era in its history. Qin Shi Huang proclaimed himself as the first emperor, establishing the title of Huangdi and marking a milestone in Chinese history. Along with his skill in war and politics, Qin Shi Huang was also a man deeply obsessed with the concept of immortality. His reign was marked by an unceasing search for elixirs of eternal life and esoteric practices. He hired alchemists and sages in his quest for immortality, an obsession that would ultimately lead him to a series of decisions that would unexpectedly mark his legacy. Chapter 2. The Conception of a Monumental Mausoleum. Qin Shi Huang's greatness was not limited to his conquests and reforms. His vision extended beyond life and into eternity. Obsessed with immortality and aware of his mortality, the emperor undertook an unprecedented project: the construction of a mausoleum that reflected his power and prestige, even in death. This mausoleum, located in Shaanxi province, was not just a monument to himself but also a tangible representation of his unified empire. The design and planning of the mausoleum were acts of pure ambition and creativity. Qin Shi Huang was not satisfied with an ordinary tomb. He wanted one that was a microcosm of his empire. For this, he summoned the best architects, astronomers, geomancers, and craftsmen from the kingdom. The mausoleum was conceived as a complex that included palaces, government offices, treasures, and traps intended to deter looters. According to historical chronicles, rivers and seas were represented with mercury, and the mausoleum's ceiling was inlaid with pearls and gems to symbolize stars and constellations. At the heart of this complex lay a bold decision: the creation of a life-size terracotta army. This army was not merely decorative. It symbolized the forces that had allowed Qin Shi Huang to conquer and unify China. Each terracotta warrior was unique, representing the diversity and individuality of his empire. This army would be the eternal guardian of the emperor, ready to follow him into battle, even in the afterlife. The project of Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum not only reflected his desire for immortality but also his understanding of symbolic power. It was a perpetual reminder of his authority and a message to future generations about the magnitude of his reign. The mausoleum would become a legend, hiding its secrets and majesty for more than 2 millennia, until time began to unveil its mysteries. Chapter 3. The Creation of the Terracotta Warriors. The realization of the Terracotta Warriors, one of the most fascinating aspects of Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum, was an extraordinary display of art and technique. Each figure, meticulously sculpted in terracotta, was a testimony to the impressive level of skill and craftsmanship of the workers of the time. This project not only required specialized artisans in ceramics but also painters, metallurgists, and carpenters, each contributing to the creation of this masterpiece. The creation process began with the extraction and preparation of the clay, which was molded and fired at high temperatures. The attention to detail was astounding. From the meticulous crafting of uniforms to the individualized facial expressions, each warrior was unique. This level of customization was unprecedented in the history of Chinese art, reflecting the diversity and individuality of the Qin Empire's troops. In addition to the soldiers, horses, chariots, and weapons were created, all designed to be as functional and realistic as possible. The workshops responsible for the production of the warriors were highly organized. Artists and craftsmen worked in a system of production lines, where each group was responsible for a specific part of the process. Although the workforce included skilled artisans, it also employed forced laborers, prisoners, and slaves. This diversity in the workforce reflected the nature of Qin Shi Huang's regime, authoritarian and pragmatic, capable of mobilizing human and material resources on an unprecedented scale. The creation of the terracotta warriors was not just an artistic achievement. It was also a powerful symbol of the emperor's control and authority. They represented the military strength that Qin Shi Huang had used to unify China and the way he wished to be remembered, as a powerful and eternal leader, protected by an immortal army. This clay army, destined to protect the emperor in the afterlife, would remain in silent vigil, waiting for an enemy that would never come. Chapter 4: Burying the Underground Army. The process of placing the terracotta warriors in their final resting place was a task of monumental importance and complexity, an act that symbolized the transition of Emperor Qin Shi Huang from this world to the next. The figures, once completed in the workshops, were carefully transported to the underground pits near the mausoleum. This transfer, carried out with meticulous attention to detail, reflected the reverence and fear the emperor inspired. The underground pits, designed to house the terracotta army, were impressive structures. Dug into the ground, these chambers stretched over a vast territory, strategically arranged around the mausoleum. The placement and orientation of the figures within the pits followed military and cosmological principles. The warriors and horses were positioned in battle formations, ready to defend the emperor from threats in the afterlife, an arrangement that reflected the military grandeur of the Qin Empire. The placement of the figures was not random. Each warrior, chariot, and horse had a specific place, forming an army in full battle formation. This arrangement was a reflection of the military tactics of the time, and each figure was oriented and equipped according to its role in the army. Archers, for example, were positioned at the vanguard and flanks, while infantry and cavalry occupied the center and rear guard. This meticulous organization had a symbolic purpose and demonstrated Qin Shi Huang's military expertise. Once the terracotta warriors were placed in their final position, the pits were sealed, hiding their existence and protecting them from intruders. This act of sealing was not simply a physical closure but also a symbolic rite, marking the emperor's transition to the afterlife and securing his legacy. The underground army would remain hidden, preserving the power and majesty of China's first emperor in a silent testament through the centuries. Chapter 5: The Emperor's Death and the Sealing of the Mausoleum. The death of Qin Shi Huang in 210 BC marked the end of an era in Chinese history. His death, shrouded in mystery and speculation, occurred during a trip to search for an elixir of immortality, an irony that did not go unnoticed in the historical chronicles. The exact circumstances of his death remain a subject of debate, but what is indisputable is the profound impact it had on the Qin Empire and on the history of China. With his disappearance, the figure who had unified China and created an empire like never before had left a power vacuum and a monumental legacy. The news of his death was initially concealed by his closest advisors, fearful of the chaos it could unleash in the still young empire. Li Si, the chancellor, and Zhao Gao, a high-ranking eunuch, decided to keep the emperor's death a secret while they returned to the capital. This action, although motivated by the preservation of order, was the prelude to an internal power struggle that would eventually lead to the fall of the Qin dynasty. With the confirmation of his death, preparations began for his burial, an event of colossal proportions in accordance with his life and reign. The emperor's body was transported to the Mausoleum, a complex that had been under construction for more than 3 decades. The Mausoleum, a work of art in itself, was a symbol of Qin Shi Huang's power and vision. His burial was conducted with great ceremonies, reflecting the respect and reverence his figure inspired, even in death. The sealing of the mausoleum was a final act of respect and protection. It is said that traps and security measures were implemented to protect the site from looters, a testament to the importance of the emperor even in the afterlife. The mausoleum, along with the Terracotta army, remained as a silent custodian of Qin Shi Huang's legacy, an imposing reminder of his power and vision. Thus, in the sealing of his tomb, the first emperor of China passed from history into myth, shrouded in the mystery and splendor of his reign. Chapter 6. The Forgetting and Loss of the Warriors Over Time. Over the centuries, Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum and his terracotta army sank into the shadows of time, losing their presence in collective memory. The fall of the Qin dynasty, just a few years after the emperor's death, was the prelude to a long series of dynastic changes and political turbulence. These events, along with the rise of new dynasties and cultures, gradually eclipsed the memory of Qin Shi Huang and his empire. The mausoleum, once a symbol of Qin Shi Huang's unparalleled power, was enveloped in legends and myths. While historical records like Sima Qian's Shiji offered detailed accounts of its construction and magnificence, the exact location and extent of the mausoleum became uncertain. The narrative surrounding the terracotta warriors, in particular, became a mix of history and folklore, where reality intertwined with fantasy. The entire complex became a mystery, its existence known only to a few scholars and the curious. Over time, even the most detailed information about the mausoleum and the terracotta warriors faded. The grounds over the mausoleum were gradually reclaimed by nature and agriculture, erasing any visible indication of its existence. The pits of the warriors, hidden underground, remained intact but forgotten, preserved in an almost perfect state of isolation. This forgetting was not just a product of the passage of time but also of the changing political and cultural dynamics of China, where the memory of a distant and often cruel past faded in favor of the realities and needs of the present. Thus, Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum and his terracotta army remained hidden, awaiting rediscovery. This prolonged oblivion preserved the warriors in a time capsule, free from human interventions and the whims of history. This absence of knowledge and the subsequent legend that was woven around the mausoleum set the stage for one of the most astonishing archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, when the world would again look with awe at the wonders of the first emperor of China. Chapter 7. The Accidental Rediscovery. The rediscovery of the terracotta warriors in 1974 was a fortuitous event that radically transformed our understanding of ancient China's history and culture. This find, made not by archaeologists but by local farmers in Shenyang, Shaanxi province, while digging a well for water, opened an unexpected window to the past. What they found was not just an isolated artifact, but the first piece of a historical puzzle that had been lost for over 2,000 years. The initial discovery led to a larger-scale excavation by Chinese archaeologists. At first, the extent of the find was not fully understood. However, as excavations progressed, it became clear that this was not an ordinary burial. A vast army of life-size terracotta figures, each with distinctive and unique features, arranged in battle formations, was unearthed. This revelation was astonishing. For the first time, the world had a direct and tangible view of the power and magnificence of China's first emperor. The impact of the discovery was immediate and profound. The Terracotta warriors became a global sensation, attracting the attention of historians, archaeologists, and the public. This underground army offered a unique perspective not only on ancient China's funerary practices and beliefs in the afterlife but also on military organization, craftsmanship, and everyday life during the reign of Qin Shi Huang. Each warrior, chariot, and horse unearthed were pieces of an invaluable cultural and historical legacy. In addition to their historical and cultural value, the rediscovery of the Terracotta warriors also had a significant impact on China's national identity. At a time when the country was opening up to the world after decades of isolation, this find served as a powerful symbol of China's rich heritage and long history. The discovery not only revived interest in the era of the Warring States and the Qin Empire but also highlighted the sophisticated level of art and craftsmanship achieved in ancient China, solidifying its place as one of the great civilizations of the ancient world. Chapter 8: Excavations and Global Amazement. The news of the discovery of the Terracotta warriors generated great international interest, and soon more extensive excavations were initiated at the site. These archaeological works, carried out with meticulousness and precision, gradually revealed the scale and complexity of the buried army. As more pits were uncovered, researchers marveled at the magnitude of Qin Shi Huang's project. Each unearthed pit provided new insights into the emperor's ingenuity and vision, as well as the artistic and construction techniques of the time. The excavation process was not without challenges. Archaeologists faced significant logistical and technical tasks, from the delicate process of unearthing the figures without damaging them to the analysis and conservation of the findings. Additionally, the pits presented variable conditions, requiring a careful and adaptable approach. Despite these challenges, excavation teams made notable progress, unearthing thousands of figures and artifact pieces and contributing a wealth of knowledge about the Qin era. The magnitude of the discoveries captured the world's imagination. The Terracotta warriors, each with its own facial expression and distinctive details, were not just outstanding examples of ancient art, they were also vivid representations of real individuals from more than 2,000 years ago. This level of personalization challenged previous perceptions of mass artistic production in antiquity, showing a degree of individuality and precision that was astonishingly advanced for its time. The relevance of these findings extended beyond the field of archaeology, influencing the global understanding of Chinese history and culture. The awe and admiration that these ancient warriors inspired in the global public were a testament to their enduring impact. As excavations continued, each layer of earth removed revealed new secrets about China's first emperor, his reign, and his legacy, attracting the attention and interest of people from all over the world. Chapter 9: Conservation and Studies. The conservation of the Terracotta warriors and their archaeological context has been a priority since the moment of their discovery. Given the complexity and fragility of the artifacts, conservation efforts have required a meticulous and multidisciplinary approach. One of the biggest challenges has been preserving the color of the figures, which began to fade when exposed to air and light after thousands of years underground. Conservators and scientists have worked tirelessly to develop techniques to preserve these original colors, providing a more authentic view of how these impressive warriors looked in their original splendor. In addition to physical preservation, exhaustive studies have been conducted to better understand the Terracotta warriors in their historical and cultural context. These investigations have ranged from the analysis of construction methods and painting techniques to the study of the armor and weapons they carry. Studies have also investigated the logistics and organization of the labor needed to create a terracotta army on such a large scale, offering new perspectives on the economy and society of Qin period China. Another important focus has been historical and cultural analysis. Researchers have examined how the terracotta warriors reflect funerary practices, religious beliefs, and conceptions of the afterlife in ancient China. They have also explored how the presence of the army in the mausoleum relates to the worldview and authority of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. This multidisciplinary approach has greatly enriched the understanding of the significance and purpose of the warriors, linking them not just with the history of an empire but with the psyche and beliefs of a civilization. The conservation and study efforts of the Terracotta warriors have been fundamental to education and cultural exchange. The site has become an important tourist and educational destination, attracting visitors and scholars from around the world. The exhibition of selected figures in international museums has allowed for the sharing of this legacy with a global audience, fostering greater appreciation and understanding of China's rich history and culture. These collective efforts ensure that the legacy of the Terracotta warriors continues to inspire and educate future generations. Chapter 10. The Impact on Modern Culture. The discovery of the Terracotta warriors has had a profound and lasting impact on modern culture, both within and outside of China. This archaeological find has served not only to illuminate an important chapter of ancient history but also to inspire various aspects of contemporary culture. In art, literature, film, and education, the Terracotta warriors have emerged as a powerful and captivating symbol, representative of the mystery, grandeur, and depth of Chinese history. In art, artists from around the world have found inspiration in the individuality and majesty of each terracotta figure. These works have been reimagined in different media and styles, appearing in exhibitions and galleries, where their visual and cultural impact continues to fascinate audiences. In literature, numerous books, both academic and fiction, have explored the stories behind these ancient warriors, offering a mix of historical facts and creative narrative that has captured the imagination of readers of all ages. In cinema and television, the image of the Terracotta warriors has been used in numerous productions, both as a central element in stories set in ancient China and as a reference in contemporary and science fiction works. Their iconic presence has come to symbolize antiquity, mystery, and grandeur, contributing to a growing interest in and appreciation of Chinese history and culture globally. Additionally, the Terracotta warriors have appeared in video games and other forms of digital entertainment, allowing audiences to interact with this fascinating aspect of history in a new and exciting way. In the educational realm, the discovery of the Terracotta warriors has significantly enriched study programs on Chinese history and culture. Their inclusion in school and university curricula has provided a valuable tool for teaching about China's past, fostering a deeper and more nuanced understanding of this ancient civilization. Thus, the influence of the Terracotta warriors extends beyond their archaeological value. They have become a bridge between cultures, times, and disciplines, connecting people around the world with the rich and complex history of China.